Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the ordinary meeting of Spennymoor Town Council on Tuesday, 23rd of March. The council would like to advise you that this meeting will be live streamed to YouTube and will subsequently appear on the council website. Could I please ask that all mobile devices are switched off or put to silent during the meeting? Thank you. Could I also ask if members do wish to speak, if they use the RTS function? I will be moving on to the chat function. That will mean that I can't see members' faces. So if I do miss anyone, please shout. But I'd also like to ask if you do leave the meeting, if you could inform the officers and myself that you are leaving the meeting. Before we start the official proceedings, I would just like to make a statement because of tonight's event and in commemoration of the anniversary of the first lockdown. At 12 noon today, the country remembered the 12-month anniversary of the first lockdown on 23rd of March 2020 and the 126,284 people who have sadly died as a result of the coronavirus pandemic that we now know as COVID-19. There are many more who have suffered from grief because of the loss of their loved ones. Our Northeast region, our county, and towns and villages have all suffered heavily because of this pandemic. Today is a time of reflection for so many lives, and also a time to thank all of the National Health Service, the support services, care home staff, volunteers, and key workers who have worked tirelessly to prevent many more deaths. Thank you also to the brilliant scientists who have produced vaccines in record time, with a total of 28 million people now recorded as receiving a first vaccine as of yesterday. To all of these organizations and key workers, we salute you and extend our thanks. And to all of those who have lost loved ones, we send out to you a special message of condolence and remembrance of lives lost before their time. There has been a lot of sacrifice and pain with the lockdowns, but there is now a beam of light shining through from a very dark tunnel and a hope of better times ahead for all of us. It is also my sad duty to reflect on the passing of Alderman Ben Ord, a kind and considerate gentleman who devoted many years of service to our town and local community. He cared for his constituents and always wanted to do the very best for them and for our town. The many residents who have shared in remembering Ben are a testament to the respect he held. Ben shared some of his early memories with me of his time with the town council when I first met him in the year 2001. He has also previously served for 9 years in the Royal Navy and worked in marketing administration and quality control. He was elected to the Spennymoor ward of Sedgefield Borough Council on 2 occasions between 1991 and 95, and between 1999 and 2009, when in 2009 local government review determined that all district councils would merge into a new unitary authority. Ben was then elected to the Unitary Council of Durham County Council in 2008 and held this seat until 2013. He was made an alderman by the former Sedgefield Borough Council in March 2009 for his service and contribution to local government over a period of more than 24 years. I'm sure you will all join with me in this National Day of Remembrance, and also to send our condolences to Ben's wife, Carol, his daughter, Sharon, his extended family and friends at this sad time. Rest in peace, Ben. Can I also say thank you to the Town Council for lighting up the Town Hall today in this National Day of Remembrance. Can I all ask you now to join with me in 2 minutes of silence and reflection for all the lives that have been lost over this past year? Thank you. Thank you. Are there any other members that would like to say a few words on today's events? I have Councillor Dean Ranyard that would like to speak.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, and may I thank you for your tribute to Alderman Ben Ord. I was very saddened to hear of Ben's passing just over a week ago. He served this town with great distinction as a councillor for, as you've said, over 20 years. He worked tirelessly for the community. He was very well respected and well thought of by so many people. And I extend my condolences to his wife, his daughter, and his family and friends. And I'd also like to give my own condolences to those people across the town who've lost loved ones this last 12 months during this COVID pandemic. Today has been an opportunity for us all to reflect on the challenges that the last year has brought all of us. And my thoughts and best wishes are with those who've been affected over the last year. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Ranyard. We'll now move on to the formal part of the agenda. Apologies.
We have Councillors Gardner, Grayson, Harmer, McAloon, Mrs. Smith.
Thank you. Declarations of interest.
None received.
Public members' dispensations.
None given.
Public questions.
None for this evening.
Planning.
None for this evening.
Thank you. To approve and confirm as a correct record the minutes of the ordinary meeting of the Town Council held on Tuesday, 23rd of February. There is only one amendment that I would like to ask for recorded, and that is on page 2, which is the Cow Plantation Management Committee, which was held on Thursday, the 4th of February, and not the Tuesday. Thank you. Can I have someone to move those minutes, please?
Madam Mayor, fellow councillors, I'll move the minutes of the ordinary council meeting held on Tuesday, the 23rd of February as true and correct record.
Thank you.
Madam Mayor, can I second those minutes?
Thank you.
And we've had the minutes seconded. Thank you. Policy and Resources Committee of the 2nd of March 2021.
Madam Mayor, fellow councillors, I move that the minutes of the Policy and Resources Committee held on the 2nd of March 2021 be accepted as true and correct record.
Madam Mayor, can I second those minutes, please?
And the Facilities and Recreation Committee of the 9th of March 2021.
Madam
And I have a
Madam
mover,
Mayor.
please.
Madam Mayor, I'd like to propose that we accept the minutes of the Facilities Recreation meeting held on the Tuesday, the 9th of March 2021 as a true and accurate record. Thank you.
Second those.
Thank you. The Mayor's communications, I'll just take that as read. There has only been one bouquet of flowers and card to a local couple who celebrated their diamond wedding anniversary on the 4th of March. I would have liked to have attended to hand these over personally, but as you know, we are restricted due to current lockdown. Thank you. Item 9, performance management. Can I bring in officers to discuss this, please? And I have no comments. I've got Councillor Machin would like to speak.
Can I ask the status with regard to 2 items? One was the working party to be formed at the F&R meeting on the 2nd in February with regard to the application for funding from the Spennymoor Workmen's Club. Has the working party met? Where are we at? And the second one is just on the status of the data breaches. Investigation.
In relation to the working party, that has met, and following this and a subsequent meeting of the committee of the Working Men's Club, the Working Men's Club have withdrawn their application for funding.
Thank you.
In relation to the data breach, when we looked at our security system, we didn't have the level of security required for the system to be interrogated sufficiently for the investigator to carry out his investigation. So we've now arranged that with our IT company, and the investigation will now commence with the interviews of staff.
Thank you.
Thank you, Town Clerk. Can I just add on the performance management that at the P&R meeting of the 2nd of March, an item with regard to Spennymoor Cricket Club was withdrawn, was deferred to follow with a report after discussions with Sport England. I'm given to report that I believe there has been 2 meetings with Sport England, and I would just like to ask, is it the intention to have a meeting of the council to raise this item at some point in the near future? Thank you.
Madam
Yes.
Mayor, if I could come in on that, that's a Policy and Resources Committee matter, which will come back to the next meeting of Policy and Resources. Since that item was deferred, we haven't had another meeting of that committee.
Yes, Councillor Galdard, it was just to make you aware that it wasn't on the performance management chart. Thank you. Can I bring in officers for item 10, please, risk management?
Thank you. I'll take that one. So item 10 is the risk management report. So this report is a brief report, and it's got the risk registers, which provide members with a full list of the current strategic and operational risk registers for the town. Just to say, both risk registers have been reported to Audit Committee during the financial year. As I say, it is a brief report, so it's recommended that the council consider and approve the information of the report and the risk registers.
I have no request to speak.
Approve it.
So I've been minded to approve that and move on to the next item on the agenda, which is item 11, annual review of the effectiveness of the council system of internal control.
Thank you. I'll take this one as well. So this one, as the introduction sets out, the reports for consideration and approval by members of the annual review of the effectiveness of the council's system of internal control for the year, as required by the Accounts and Audit Regulations. The review must be done annually and reported to full council before the annual governance and accountability return is approved. This will come to council in the next couple of months. So the Accounts and Audit Regulations 2015 sets out that it requires the council to have in place a sound system of internal controls, and then that an annual review of the effectiveness of the internal controls is undertaken. And as I've said, this outcome of the review must be taken into account in the consideration and the approval of the annual governance statement, which forms part of the annual return. So the internal controls actually cover more than finance. For example, it covers assets of the council, the way the council works, decision making, etc. So internal controls of the council include the policies, standing orders, financial regulations, segregation of duties, internal audit, risk management, but to name a few. The review was actually undertaken by the council's SMT, and it's found that no material issues during the review. It's also informed by the work of the internal auditor, and again, there were no material issues or weaknesses in the internal controls identified by the internal auditor during the year. The report actually goes into details of Spennymoor Town Council's system of internal controls. So as members have had the papers for consideration, I don't intend to go through them in any detail. So the overall review concludes that the council's internal controls and arrangements remain sound and continue to operate effectively. So it's recommended that the annual review of the effectiveness of the council's internal system of internal control in respect of the 2020-21 financial year is approved by the council, and that the review is taken into account in providing the assurance that the council require in order to approve the 2021 annual governance statement, as set out in section 1 of the 2021 annual return later in the year.
And thank you, Tracy. And can I use this opportunity just to thank you, Tracy, for your work with the Town Council. I believe this will be the last full council meeting that you will be in attendance for. So I wish you well in the future.
Thank you.
Thank you. And I'll bring in other speakers now. Councillor Ian Geldard.
Thank you, Councillor Madison, and can I echo your thanks to Mrs Woodhead there, who's been a brilliant finance manager for us over the duration of the time she's been here. We've come on leaps and bounds, I think, in the accountancy side of the organisation, and that is largely down to the work that Tracy's done to get our books presented in the way that they are, and we will be eternally grateful for that leap up. So thank you for that, Tracy. In relation to the report, again, I'd like to thank Tracy for the detail that she's put into the report. It is pleasing to see the position we're in and the level of detail we've gone into with regards to the systems of internal control. It is an important area of running the organisation, and it's one that I'm quite confident we've got working on all cylinders in this council. And so with that, I'd like to move that the recommendations outlined in section 5 are accepted as part of the report.
Thank you, Councillor Geldard. Councillor Neil Foster.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Can I also associate myself with the comments on Tracy and the good work that she's done over the years, and appreciate a lot of effort that she's put in, and wish her all the best for the future. I think the report itself reads as one of confidence. It's a robust statement as to where we are. Councillor Geldard's highlighted the improvements that we've made over the years. And I think as members, we've got a lot to be proud of the work that's been done. And it's a good reflection on the work of the officers that have undertaken. I'm more than happy to second the recommendations as outlined in the report.
Thank you, Councillor Foster. We have had presented tonight some super reports that go into very fine detail, and I think this is down to Tracy, Mrs. Woodhead, for the work that she's done for the council. Thank you. I have no other requests to speak, so I'll now conclude the meeting and wish everybody a pleasant evening. Thank you.
Thank you.